episode 68, That Range Life, a show sometimes about golf. Man, 2 episodes ago, a Pittsburgh Penguins legend, Mario Lemieux, and back to another one with Jaromir Jagr, still playing professional hockey, and he's like 72 years old. Anyway, what a show we have today. If you can't tell already, Kris McEwen on location in what looks to me like a roughly 1960s funeral home with updated outlets from the local area public school.
It's the code. They have to have these, to meet code. These orange,
right.
For whatever reason, yeah.
So all their embalming and cremation machines can plug in safely. Got it. So Kris, you're on location. Well, we'll get into that. Let's get all the housekeeping out of the way that we do every week.
Right.
1, you need to subscribe to this YouTube channel, okay? Subscribe to this YouTube channel because we got things we got to do, and we need you to watch them.
So we're really, really close. I think next week we will announce what the prizes are, and I've got a ton of ideas, Bill. I haven't even ran them by you, but we've mentioned some of them. We've got some stuff laying around that we're going to send out, but I had another idea of a way we can up the ante. But yes, we're getting so close to that 500 subscriber giveaway. So I think we're like 30 subscribers away or something.
And you know what? If you don't subscribe, you don't win.
That's true.
Subscribe to this channel. And hey, while you're here, because you really like the sounds of a good win and Kris doing the show on location from a funeral parlor, like the video, all right? Leave a comment, all that jazz. And, of course, hit the notification. The reason Kris is on location, he may have a video coming up for this. That's TBD. We'll find out. But, Kris, we have some projects. When you get back here, we get through. I mean, man, I have a gamut of holidays. I have, what do we have coming? We have my wife's birthday, my brother-in-law's birthday, Father's Day, Memorial Day, and my daughter's birthday, end of school in like less than a 30-day span. So that usually takes up a lot of my golf time and content making time. But man, we got some projects we have in the works. I set up this past week. We'll talk about later, but a Driving Range Heroes outing at a local historic course that you are going to come to. I don't know if we'll per se make content there, but we will probably make content out of that. TBD.
Yeah.
Hit the bell. Get the notifications for when that happens, okay? Also, secondcitygolf.com, not 2ND golf, not 2ND city golf, spelled out Second City, okay? secondcitygolf.com. Pick up some merch. This is not on the site. This is a Chicago Golf Club, not a big deal. Hat. So we're not repping. Oh, wait. I got some of the merch. You do. You just drank out of it. There you go. I think that's the best piece of merch we have on the store right now. Certainly up there. I want to remind you, this was the best.
Yeah.
But it's no longer on the website.
It's true.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Go to that. Also, speaking of the store, I've been getting a lot of reports. Stickers have been sent out.
That's true.
I got a text message from my cousin-in-law, and he's like, I'm repping the brand, man. I'm really into golf, and I love the golf. What is this? Because he doesn't watch the YouTube show. He said no, but he bought a hat out of support, and so you sent him stickers.
I sent him stuff, man.
And you've been writing notes on the back, and he's just like, who's Kris? So I'm like,
that's amazing. That makes you, because I have been writing notes on the back of stickers and stuff, saying like, thanks, man. For
here's the best part about this guy. He's between you and me in age, but he came up in that like kind of like, like we had that like my age, the local Chicago area emo scene in like the early 2000s, but there was also that like underground metal, like hardcore metal scene circa like 97 to 2001. And he was like wrapped up into that pretty tight. fireside bowl shows, the
Oh
works.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so
Oh
he
hell yeah.
knows all the flyering, guerrilla marketing, whatever. So he's like, yeah, I'll throw these stickers around. Don't you worry. I know what to do with these. It's like, and if there's anyone I trust with it, it's you. Of course, I don't need it like.
I found a new favorite spot for the stickers, which is on the flap of my push cart.
That's like wait, you like stick it to them or stick like you're saying put them under there to give to people? You mean stick it to it?
No, I'm saying stick it right on. Yeah, stick it to them, man.
Right.
Yeah.
I still go with this has been, and I didn't know it turned into this. This has been my favorite. My general notebook for planning my website collection of stickers on it. And I was thinking like, yeah, might as well. I have the stickers. I think this is going to be my thing every year. And I love it.
Yeah. It's a good one.
I feel like I'm doing a real thing with this. Like all this stuff actually means something. And it's not just a play golf site I have, which is exactly what it is. All right. So let's talk about what we got going on the show. Little bit of a curveball. We had a gear talk plan, but I said, you know what? Again, my good friend, the pallbearer over here. Let's talk about that. That's what this show is going to be about. Kris, tell everybody where you are, why you're there, what's going on.
Yeah, that's right. So no gear talk this week. We're just going to talk about where I am and what I've been doing. So Bill has been giving me a hard time because look, yes, I'm in Indiana. I am at French Lick Resort. I've got most of the stuff that I need for the show. I was one cable short of having everything I needed for the show. So I have this microphone, but I don't have a cable for the microphone. So I'm using my headphones. Anyways.
It's a joke. Yes, I'm chop busting. But I want to remind everybody about French Lick. It's old. People forget, like, because it's kind of a new trendy resort.
But here's my point, though, about that. It's like my room is massive.
Yep.
It's huge. Like it's a huge room. I mean, it really is. Like when I was showing my wife the room, she's like, "Oh my God!" Like the bathroom's like massive. It's a whole thing. Yes, this view is not the most
right. Well, so here's as I'm busting your chops, all jokes aside, what I want to add, that was the thing when I went to Pinehurst. We stayed at one of their properties and like, oh, it's like the trendy golf resort to go to. And you're like,
yeah,
I don't know if you knew this. Pinehurst has been in, North Carolina since, I don't know, 1732.
Yeah.
And it's like the original hotels and it's a big historic golf course.
Yeah.
Oh, and actually, as we're talking about it, the main course, number 2, designed by the same person who designed one of the courses at the resort you're at.
That's true.
So it's not a new place. And it was neat when you went into those hotels because while everything's like cool, trendy, all the golf bros are there. You go into like and I don't mean this in a bad way, like you go into a portal, you're back in time and it captures like that cool historic, even if it's at a mile point, like a cool historic, you're playing a 100-year-old course with tradition, a vibe, and I want, like, I don't want to go play a Ross that feels like I'm playing Ruffled Feathers in Lamont.
Right.
I want to go feel like I'm playing an old classic Donald Ross course. So
yeah,
I have been busting your chops, but that's why it's like this, right?
Yeah, no, and I got a little history on the resort itself because it seems like it's so random. Like we're in the middle of like southern Indiana or whatever. I'm like, how is French Lick a thing? Like, how did this happen?
Mm-hmm.
Like this place is like, this resort is huge. There's a casino, there's a steakhouse. It's just like this, but the town itself is very small. Like we were just walking down the middle of the street from the other restaurant that we ate at because nobody's out, on a Monday night at 9:00 at night. Like the place is just empty. We can just do whatever we want. But so it turns out it's a Prohibition era kind of thing. Like right before Prohibition, they built this place. They had the casino. Prohibition took place. So that's early 1900s. They built this place. It did okay, but then Prohibition hit and it did really, really okay. Like it became a whole thing, right? Because You had people from Chicago coming down. You had people coming up from the South. It was a whole thing. And so that's when they had that. And then, you add the Donald Ross, you add the Pete Dye course, which I got to play today. And, you know, that's it. That's a wrap. You got everything you need here. And it's got, just in the resort itself, we talked about this before the show, right? It's got the spa stuff and the pool stuff and the casino stuff and
Yep.
whatever else. And then it's got the golf course. It's got a little tiny, I haven't been able to go out there and check it out because it's been a little cold in the mornings, but they've got some kind of little baby short course that's out
Mm.
there that you can go and screw around on. They've got like the downtown area is super cool because it's kind of like a Main Street USA sort of feel to it. It's really fun. So yeah, so that's where I am. My audio sounds like garbage because I've got my headphones in. I had to make a decision, ladies and gentlemen, and
Hmm.
since this is a visual medium, I chose a good camera over good audio.
Well, we tried both,
We
and
did.
camera was the right choice.
We did. And
But so
then
I think that's. Go ahead. Sorry.
no, like just so far, I got in whatever it was 2 nights ago, right? Yeah. Um, the steakhouse is amazing. It's delicious, and it was kind of interesting. So I'm here with a bunch of internet social media nerds, basically, like ourselves, Bill, and but like I got a steak because I'm at a steakhouse, but people did not get steaks, and everyone's stuff like we were passing around side dishes and stuff. I was
Very,
pretty impressed.
when you're vaccinated, you can do that. It's fine.
It's
Just pass
actually
around
I
your
got to
food.
tell you too, just real quick about that. Can we just talk about that
Yep.
real quick? Be real with
Let's
each
do
other.
it.
So I was officially I am fully vaccinated. I'm as protected from COVID-19 as I ever will be as of Thursday of last week. Uh, and
I want to step in there,
yeah,
which you said as soon as you were clear, you were coming out where it's going to be a big to do, but then this opportunity arose, and it's a
yeah,
pretty easy choice. I
yeah,
understand.
yeah. And it was, yeah. Anyways, it wasn't that easy, but it was, like, why not, right? It's a Pete Dye and a Donald Ross, and like, you've introduced me to the world of Donald Ross. Basically, I
Hmm.
love Donald Ross. So how could I turn down another Donald Ross course? Uh,
Right.
at any rate, to this place's credit, so it's kind of like it's. I mean, anyone can pull into the parking lot off the street, right? But not everyone can get through the front door. You got to have one of these. So like if you came to hang out, they would like, hey, you got to go. So it's kind of cool. And so that's part of it, right? So even though it's this,
Is that a COVID thing, or is that
no, it's
just
a
like a
resort thing.
general?
It's a resort thing.
Okay.
I was going to get to the COVID thing. So no, it's a resort thing. So this is a closed campus. So
Okay.
that means the casino is yours, the steakhouse is yours, and the golf courses, while they're not necessarily closed, right? Like anyone can kind of go, and you do get some benefits, I think, from staying on the resort, uh, and going and play those courses. Things may cost a little less, that kind of stuff. You can get a day rate at a golf course. It's a whole thing. Anyways, from the COVID perspective, uh, this they are super. I don't know how to put this in a very
Diligent.
yes.
Okay.
So everyone's masked up. It's not even like a question. It's
Right.
not even a thing. And like obviously we all live in different states. Every state has different rules. Some states are fully open. Some states, aren't. Like obviously Chicago is still very masked up and 25 to 50% capacity, all those kinds of things. Indiana isn't like that. Indiana is very much open. It's the whole thing. But when you get up to the front, before you even get into the building, they're doing things like very simple things, right? Taking your temperature. They ask you a couple questions about how you're feeling, that kind of stuff. And if you don't have a mask, then we'll give you one before you go in. And so it's just, take it for what it is. It's just kind of, I felt, even though I'm fully vaccinated, I'm, for all intents and purposes, I can't get COVID-19 or spread it. It was just impressive to see that this place was kind of uh, making it a point to,
Be
protect
diligent
up.
and stay on
Yeah,
top of the greater. Yeah, I got
yeah,
you.
and within the state's environment, we'll just put it that way, where the state is not forcing that. The state's saying, you know, do whatever you want to do. They're saying we still want you to do this for now, and so it's it's pretty cool. I was impressed by that for what it's worth.
So the casino, right? I mean, this place has been there forever.
Yeah.
Do they have multiple hotels like as part of the resort?
Yes.
Because the one I know of is that
Yes.
with that like big
Big
giant main
atrium.
room.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that
where I am. That's where I am. But yeah, they have. I think it's kind of, it's a resort. So just imagine. Um, I've been to a couple different kind of resorts, and it's almost like a campus if you think of it
right,
that
right.
way. Yeah, yeah. So
So
it's like that.
is that atrium building like an original one from the
Yeah,
Prohibition days?
yeah.
God, can you imagine it?
They've put a ton of money in that. It's unbelievable, man. It's so cool. It's like that big dome. It's kind of like the Notre Dame sort of dome.
It's
It's
amazing.
it's super cool, and
So
yeah, they sunk a bunch of money in it to make it look just incredible.
I will say this from pictures I've seen from friends going and reports back as I am busting Chris's chops about the view. The place, and I mean, I told Chris this. I have a buddy in the neighborhood who went there recently, and he was showing, and I was like, it's Indiana. It's kind of a hall. And he showed me
Yeah,
pictures of the hotel you're in, and I'm like, never mind. How soon can I get there? Like just for that
yeah,
alone, that building is
it's
insane. I
super
can
cool,
only
man.
imagine showing up there in the, booming prohibition days and seeing a place like that.
And that's totally what it feels like. If you're into that kind of thing, like when you walk through the front doors, it's mahogany, it's big tiles, it's high ceilings, small elevators, right?
Yep,
That kind
yep.
of, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff
Yeah.
where it totally is that kind of retro feel. Like, yeah, if you want it's not Manhattan, it's not these super
I said
modern
it's
sort of
not
things.
Kohler in
Yeah,
Wisconsin, right? Where they're like
right,
these new
exactly.
trendy hotels, which
Right.
are very nice. I'm not taking it away from them, but I love it depends on the vacation, so to speak. But like if I'm going to do what you're doing, like this is where you are, this is what I want.
Yeah.
Like that's what I want to be
It's
in.
yeah, totally. Yeah, and yeah, I've thought about you many times while I've been here, Bill.
You son of a
I
bitch.
really have, like, Bill would really like this. And I haven't even
But
talked
be
about the
honest,
golf courses yet.
I say the number one thing you thought of me was the steak. You're like, this guy be sitting here, and more probably like, I'm glad he's not here. Being like, well, I don't know, it
Yeah,
feels like this.
yeah, I don't know if this is really medium. It
I
seems
do
like a
not,
little
I do
little
not,
gray.
I would not want to see a ribeye trimmed like this. Which I say that I have no idea. I'm kidding. I would very much enjoy it, assuming it's good. I don't know.
I could, yeah,
Hopefully, I'll find out for myself.
yeah,
So
sure.
one thing I want to point out, this is kind of funny. My biggest interaction, because Southern Indiana is always I've been to it a few times, but it's typically very much a pass through point if I'm going that far south for
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
Now, one time, ready? Here you go. I'm almost embarrassed to like, hey, I'm a cool guy. Did you know that? Right now. Um, just out of college, when I was in my hotshot rock and roll band out of Chicago, Illinois, we played a big festival, like a big kind of like hard rock festival down at some people listening might know about. It was like 45 minutes straight south of Bloomington, right?
Oh,
And
that's
is
almost here.
some
Yeah,
right big state
yeah,
park. I forgot what it's
yeah.
called, but everyone knows it. It's a big deal. And we played this festival, and I was like, man, because I know to like Indianapolis, Indiana is flat, no trees, cornfields, bean fields, no wheat really. Like, what is this place? It's almost mountainous, beautiful
Yeah,
forests. I mean, it is a
yeah.
beautiful piece of Midwestern landscape. And then you started posting on Instagram as we're recording today your stories, and I'm like, God, the views were just spectacular. You would think you were playing somewhere like
Unbelievable.
almost in the Pacific Northwest or something, or like northern Michigan or whatever. Not
Yeah, yeah.
not in Indiana. And so please speak more about that.
Yeah, so fun, and I have a bunch of pictures on this camera that I'm looking at right now that I haven't even gotten off that will show up on Instagram soon enough. Maybe on the show as I'm speaking, I'll put some pictures. Um, so the highest point, I do believe the highest point in Indiana is on the Pete Dye Golf Course here at French Lick Golf Resort.
Highest point of Indiana.
That's right.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So we went up. We had a four caddy, his name was Randy, the best. I mean, so the guys I played with, they have done a ton of traveling before. They've had tons of caddies before, and they were saying that he was by far the very best caddy they've ever had. And so this dude, I mean, he's no dummy. He knew who we were, right? I had my big camera out. Darren and Mitch were taking
You
pictures the whole
I
time.
just want to rant. He knew who we were.
I'm just saying, like, we were taking pictures. He knew we were from like golf media or whatever. So
Oh God.
he was.
And you just followed up with saying you're golf media, Kris. I don't
I
even know
know
you anymore.
that's true. We're not golf media. Well, he thought we were golf media. I'll put it
All
that
right,
way.
all
He
right,
was
fine. I
under the
accept.
impression that we were golf media. Um, but so he was taking us different places, giving us some fun facts, which I was of course eating up. And then there was a couple like tee boxes that we weren't actually going to play off of, but he's like, let's go check it out. And he took us up there, and those tee boxes on the Pete Dye course were in fact the highest point. Well, it was the second there. It's the second highest point in Indiana. The very highest point in Indiana was the caddy shed. That was his joke.
Took me a second. Got it.
Got it. All right.
Got
So,
it.
anyways, yeah. So that was yeah. The highest point is on the Pete Dye Golf Course, and yeah, dude, that place, man. So have you played a lot of Pete Dye stuff? Any Pete Dye stuff?
I've played it. Not a lot.
Okay.
I'd say enough. Here's my Pete Dye thought. Some of his courses are very cool. Some of them are like a little silly, but they're cool. Sawgrass is in that category, I would say.
Right. Everyone
Like,
knows
it
Sawgrass, sure.
gets a little silly, but okay. But
Yeah.
then there's other times where I'm like, wait, what was your goal here? With yours and because right, his wife would help him with the design stuff a lot,
Yeah.
and that's a big thing. Like,
Yeah. Alice,
was it just
right?
trying to see how absurd of a golf course and silly and dumb it could be? Because I feel like that's what happened here. And I know like big Pete Dye traditionalist fans, etc., probably come from my head over it and be like, well, you never played him before. You're right. I haven't. I do like to think I can look at something though and hear it talked about and go, yeah, I can see where that's a little dumb. I don't know.
So
I'm not in.
Yeah.
I'm not into like tricked up amusement park golf courses. Every now and then they can be fun. Shout out the Straits at Whistling Straits. It kind of can fit that category, I think. But yeah, so I wouldn't say like I hate Pete Dye, or I wouldn't say I love Pete Dye. I'd say I'm fairly different, but I won't say he's not capable. Like he knows what he's doing. So he knows how to make a golf course. You know what I mean? And make interesting things happen. I think you like ruffled feathers. Second time bringing it up on the show. To me, I'm always like, this is what I'm talking about. Why? Why? You know what I mean?
I want to go play that again after playing this one because that's the only Ruffled Feathers is the only Pete Dye exposure I've had. Ruffled Feathers being in Lamont, Illinois. Kind of, I don't know if people know that. Is that a known golf course? Ruffled Feathers.
I don't know, like if you're one of our many fans in another part of the world or country, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, I know it. But
it's not like Cog Hill. Like you say Cog Hill, they're like, oh yeah, Cog Hill. But like Ruffled Feathers is down the street from Cog Hill.
Yeah.
The Pete Dye golf course. But
we've talked about it on the show. We'll have maybe we'll do a whole Ruffled Feather show sometime. But I think from the pictures I saw, I even said, like, man, I'm sort of surprised that's a Pete Dye course because it looked like a golden era architecture and he had a lot of that vibe and feel. And I mean, obviously, not being there and playing it, I can't personally tell you if I really think it. But from your pictures, I'm like, it looks great. Looks really well done. and it seems to capture a vibe, doesn't look silly, and it is built into the side of a mountain. Well, maybe not side. It's
Right.
built on a mountain.
Right.
I'm
So,
from
I
I'm
mean,
from the Chicago suburbs. That's a mountain to me.
right. Yeah, that's high of it was like 1,000 feet up or whatever. Uh,
Whew.
but I mean, I legitimately we joke about it, but I did think about you and what you would how you would feel. So it's got some. It's a let's just I'll straight up. It was if you love immaculate, pristine golf courses, like
Mhm.
this thing. My goodness, like the greens didn't look like they'd been played by anyone but us. The fairways were like just perfectly. It was just the bunkers looked like they weren't even real. They looked like they were almost like concrete. They were so smooth. You know what I
They're
mean?
like
That
one of those, what are they called? The, like, Japanese sand gardens that they
yeah,
rake,
right.
where it's like, that's sand,
Like a
that's not
Zen
like.
garden, right? Yeah,
Is that what it is? Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, it was just like just the most perfect conditions. We played 2 rounds on the Pete Dye today. Uh, I actually play the Donald Ross twice tomorrow, so maybe next
I was
week
gonna
I can give
ask if,
you.
yeah, you
Yeah,
played the Donald Ross yet.
no, not yet. But I've heard the cool thing to me about them is they're very different types of golf courses, which makes sense considering
Right.
who the architects are. But um, so yeah, this one it's a little amusement parky, I feel like, but with like an injection of Langford and Moreau almost like so you've got some pushed up
It's funny
green.
you say that. There's one green complex you showed, and I'm like,
That's the
"God,
one.
that looks like."
I
Yeah, it's
yep. I
straight out of
posted that
Lasonia.
100%, and that's why I took that picture. I'm like, this is the seventh green at Lasonia. I mean, it's a little babier, it's a little smaller version. It's not as dramatic,
Right.
but that's how there's a lot of the courses like that. Even the fairways, like if you on 18, God on 18, we all
Yeah, yeah.
just got killed on 18, but like 18, if you miss the fairway, it is just super sloped down, and you're just stuck in there.
S
Yeah.
Sounds like a Pete Dye fairway to me.
Maybe that's what it is. But again,
Yeah.
ruffled feathers doesn't have a lot of that, does it? Nothing look
Not to
nothing's
Well, like, again, we'll say that. I do feel like it's another sort of like, "Hey, when you finally play dubs, we gotta go out together." Same thing. We brought like, go to Ruffled Feathers, and I feel like the little, like, "See, you could see here, but they
yeah,
didn't really do it, blah, blah," there's a
yeah.
lot of that.
It's not quite as dramatic as these holes were. And like just the like even if you did hit the fairway, you would still have to work through, you talk about it's a very like target driven sort of golf course, right? If you don't hit a
Mhm.
certain spot on a fairway, even you're going to have to deal with some uneven lies. You're going to have to deal with a bad angle into a green. You're going to have to deal with some elevation or whatever it is. It was just in the first round, I did not hit the ball well, which is not
Yeah, that's
great.
what I'm like, would you just shut up and get to, how you played and
Well,
what.
nobody wants to hear how I played. Everyone wants to hear about like the actual golf course. So that's why I started with that part of it. But the golf course
Well, it
is
was a
just
right start. It was a right
yeah,
start. No one's gonna argue with that. But
yeah,
now knowing you,
right.
and I had a conversation with the Riv the other day about, like, it blows my mind that I said to him, it blows my mind that you two haven't broken 80 before. It doesn't make sense to me. And then he's like,
Man.
"Oh, well, Kris doesn't like that story. I did break 80, blah, blah, blah." And I was like, "Okay, my mistake." But now I do remember the story a little bit. Um,
Yeah.
he had to get
Although
up and down from a bunk or whatever.
he broke 80 on a par 70 course.
Yeah, but that's like right when guys shoot
For
59s on par 70 courses.
for
Like,
what's
either
that?
way, you still had to
I'm
shoot
just
it.
saying. I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, look, if it's against the Riv, I'm with you.
I
I'll
j-
take your side. Um, but so that said, I'm sitting here thinking, I need to know what the roller coaster was for this guy, because I have played a lot of golf with
oh
you. I know
man.
what you're capable of hitting, etc.
Yeah.
But you are cursed by God help you if you ever strung all the shots together just for a little bit. This goes back to our you shot the 81 the other day, or was it 82? I can't
Yeah.
remember. And we're
Yeah.
like, you had the
Yeah.
no, it was a 90. It was a 90.
It
You
was
had the
it was oh yeah,
40.
the 50-40. The 50-40 I
Yeah.
shot. Yeah.
And it's like, it's there. You just don't
Yeah.
ever do it. And you're
Yeah.
not as big of a you're not as mentally weak as John Heisey and myself, which I have a blog in the works about it. Because I'm gonna tell you, I'm hitting the ball at the driving range, and I'm like, my bag is like this close to set for the year. For those
Yeah.
waiting for the what's in the bags coming up, and I'm really excited about a lot of this stuff. Man, I go to the range, I'm hitting every club flush, I'm shaping them, I'm flighting them, I'm doing everything. I get on the course, it's like I'm a totally different person, and I have no idea
Yeah.
why. But I
Yeah.
think like you aren't you. I mean, John's a hockey goalie, so no wonder he's a head case. I'm just a head case. And I don't, you have your own brain problems for sure.
God, do I
But
ever.
like when it comes to the golf course, not really. So, but yet you still suffer the same curse.
Yeah.
So I want to know about the roller coaster. Not so much about your score and like, oh, if I just did this, I don't care. It's the roller coaster and the drama I love.
It was the same. It's kind of the same thing. Like I was a mess on the first round. I was super broken. Like it was bad. It was pretty bad. Like putting shots off the toe just straight right,
Mm.
and trying to fix things as we go.
When they're so off the toe, they can't even gear effect back to a bad hook or something. They're just
Right.
right.
No, they're just so bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so bad. They were so bad. Like almost missing the golf ball. I was coming so far inside. Uh, these shots so bad. It was so bad. Like even and like the guys I was playing with who I'd never played with before, which is awesome too, right? Uh,
Right.
and they were like, I thought you were going to swing and miss that ball. You were so far inside on it. Um, Now that being so, whatever. Like it was kind of like I thought we were playing a competitive round on the second round of the day, but it turned out it was just the same round twice because of whatever. This isn't my thing. I'm just here to enjoy it. But so after the front nine where I realized that things were not going to go well for me on the first round of the day, I just started kind of like experimenting a little bit, right? Like I put the scorecard away and just kind of like I'm just gonna figure things out. Like this is my driving range. Like the Pete Dye golf course is now my driving range, and I'm gonna figure it out as we go along. And turns out like that's a good way to figure out your game. Like just
Okay.
not care. And so then
Oh, not care. I'm like using Pete Dye, using nationally renowned Pete Dye
well,
golf courses for a driving range. Yeah, that's definitely how you should figure out. But then you
yeah,
said,
right.
turns out not caring. All right, you saved it. You saved
Right,
it.
right. So yeah, I mean, because then I played much better on the back nine. Like, okay,
Right.
I'm not going to try to hit. I'm just going to embrace my miss. Is basically what I ended up doing, which means more fades into fairways. Not let Pete Dye get into my head because he will
Mm-hmm.
do that. Because you look at a Pete Dye hole, especially here, and you're like, where, how? Like, where am I
Yeah.
going to put this golf ball? Like, what am I supposed to do with this? Right. And instead, I'm like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to hit a 275 fade over this huge gully. I'm going to pretend it's not there. I'm going to hit a fade at it. And then you just do it.
Right.
And that's what you do. Right. Now,
Right.
the other thing that Pete Dye is to me, at least at this golf course, we were talking about this at dinner tonight. As you get closer to the pin, nothing nothing gets easier. In fact,
Yeah.
if you're short or right or left, like you have the common miss really. Um, so I would hit a 275 fade, sit in the fairway. I've got let's say a 9 iron in, and I miss a 9 iron right, and that maybe I'll hit the green, but I'll hit the green at the wrong spot. It's going to be an adventure with a putter, or I'm going to be hitting a wedge back to where I was trying to get where my 9 iron landed. Like there's
Be
no,
hitting a wedge back to
yeah,
where I hit my second shot from,
right.
and then
Like,
hit my fourth shot. Yeah.
right. It's like there's no, like Pete Dye does not forfeit any shot on his golf course, at least on this one. Like I just feel like everything was, and maybe that was part of it too, the first round. Like you're sort of looking around, you're trying to get your bearings, and so you're not kind of ready for what's like demand. Like you have to concentrate all the time, and if you've got a camera on your shoulder or in your pocket, it's not going to work out
I was
well
gonna
for you.
say you're really good at multitasking and playing well. I've seen it a million times, so
Right? It's
it's
not.
exactly the course for it.
Yeah,
By the
this one.
way, I can see it. I haven't seen this yet. You have killer golf tan going right here.
I do. I do. I got all kinds of color going. Some of us look worse that we're on this. Some of them look like they've been in a wind tunnel for like 10 hours. Like it's super
Yeah,
red. Yeah, super red. But yeah, so that was the first round. Bit of a struggle, not great. I may have embarrassed myself, uh, but I didn't really care about that. Um, whatever. Anyways, the second round is when I took all of that stuff, all the knowledge I'd gained from the first round, and really kind of attacked Pete Dye and played his game and played his golf course. And I played a lot better, hit some really fun shots. I mean, that's really with Pete Dye courses, there's nothing straightforward. There's no straightforward shots. I don't think anyways. Like you're not going to play the Pete Dye golf course here and say like, all I have to do is hit it 280 down the middle. Like that's
right,
just not what he's going to ask of you. He's going to ask you to play a shot. Like he's going to make you either you're going to club down because you don't want to go to X length or whatever, right? Because there's bunkers or there's a drop off or whatever, or you're going to go after it, but you're going to have to hit the shot that he wants you to hit, basically, to be rewarded
right.
for it. And that's 18 holes of that, man. Even the par threes are like no
It's
joke.
exhausting.
It's
Yeah,
it's no joke, man. It is no joke. It's yeah. The par threes and the one that I posted was the Langford Moreau kind of throwback, where it's a raised green. You've got a bunker around the left side of it. It's beautiful. It's fantastic, and it's of course all the undulations are very like. There's nothing real. A lot of the courses that we play, right? Like, oh, back to front, right?
right.
Stay below the pin. That's the general rule. These greens aren't like that. These greens from a distance are like, oh, I can hit, this 30-foot radius. And then you get up there and you're like, oh no, I had to hit this 5-foot spot.
Turns out I
Otherwise,
had to hit the next tee box and get it to bounce backwards. My mistake.
right, right. Otherwise, you have a really difficult putt that you thought from, 150 yards away. You're like, oh, I can just throw it at this flag. Like, no, 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 no. You're not going to throw it at the flag. Like Pete Dye's protecting his flags with his greens. So it was fun, man. It was really hard. If you shoot, what I'm not, we talked about the 50-40. The fact that I kind of was in that realm for both rounds, I felt like that was a win because
Yep, I know
it's
that feeling.
yeah, it's a challenging golf course and you have to hit some of those. I mean, and some honestly, like if you miss a fairway, sometimes I just want to get it. We talk about this, especially in the Midwest, right? We're playing with trees or whatever. You're like, just take your medicine and get it back into play. There's no trees on the Pete Dye golf course. There's
Right.
nothing obstructing your view, and yet you still find yourself like, I just need to get it back over there, 100 yards or whatever, so I can have a chance
I have to
at
play it
going.
75 yards straight sideways, is what it
Right,
is. But
right.
there's no trees. Like, trust me, I
No,
got
that's the
you.
play. Right, that's the play. Like, look, just do that. Don't worry about it. So yeah, it was a great
So,
time.
so you just have the Ross course tomorrow and then you head home tomorrow night?
Yeah, so we're contemplating. I don't know if I'll have time, but there's a Bendelow out here that's real close, a 9-hole Bendelow that I would like to get. I'd like to go and walk and play. Again, the Bill Bush influence on my life. I'm gonna go try to play a Bendelow, but otherwise, yeah, just 2 rounds at the Donald Ross course, which I've heard is completely different. So you can the cool thing about the Dye course is that you can use the ground a lot, like
Mm,
putting from way off the green and just running the ball up there. I hit a bunch of kind of 7 and 9 iron punch shots, from off the green just to get it up there and figure it out from there. The Ross course, I guess, doesn't play that way, so we'll see that tomorrow about that.
Yeah, he has a lot of tricks to keep you from doing that. And I'll
Yeah,
just say that. And
yeah.
I've recently been railroaded by a bunch of Donald Ross tricks, and I don't appreciate it.
That's right. You yourself just got out to play a pretty fun golf course.
Yep. I've talked about on the show before that I'm fortunate I get to regularly play Oak Park Country Club. I have some friends there. Went out with Mark on this, who regularly contributes to this here driverangeheroes.com website,
Yeah.
helping me review certain pieces of equipment and whatnot. So we went out and played, and it's like, I can't figure it. So, man, again, driving range, just flushing everything. I'm feeling pretty good about it. So go out and play. I don't know if you remember, Friday here last week was super windy, like
Yeah.
very, very
Yeah.
windy.
Yeah.
And this is a suburb just outside of Chicago. It was a farm back in the day when they bought it and built it. It's flat as can be. They got rid of a lot of trees, still a lot of old trees. With this wind, it was just a nightmare. And I tell you what, I always fall apart on this course for a lot of reasons. I hit the ball all day pretty well. Like, I was off the tee well, and it's like if I wasn't in a fairway, I was like in a playable spot. I wasn't duffing anything, I wasn't slicing anything. And I wouldn't say I had a few pull hooks, but nothing like two fairways over kind of a deal.
Yeah.
But I just can't figure this place out. And I'm like, I have a 200-yard into the wind par 3. I got it pin high. Just like I couldn't figure out what the wind was doing. It's just like swirling up there.
Yeah.
And now I have a nightmare of a chip because it's a Donald Ross green. Good luck.
Right.
And then I had 3 bunker shots. 2 were terrible. 1 was really good. The terrible ones, I can adjust to bunkers. I'm actually okay out of bunkers. I'm chalking it up to they were just too good. Like the bunkers were too good quality, nice, soft. And I'm like,
Right.
all right, cool. Just come in. Let's see. I couldn't figure them out. And both like 2 or 3 bunker shots. All I had to do was like just dump them on, and these greens were flying, just so pure too. And just like dump it onto the green. Don't even hit a good bunker shot, and it's just gonna funnel down there. Take the slope and roll forever. It's gonna be perfect. Couldn't do it. So I go, God, even I'm hitting the ball well, and I still can't figure this course out. So I told Mark, I'm like, we'll get out a few more times this year. This is it. This is like year 3, 4, I don't know, playing there. I'm gonna crack it. And these guys like have played with me. They're like, you know how to play some golf. Like, what happens here? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a par 4 with a creek that cuts it in half. You can't hit driver on it. It's like 270, maybe 265, usually to the water. And I'm like, all right, I'll hit like a soft 3-wood, but I'll pure it and it goes straight into the water. And so, but then I hit a hybrid and flare it like in places you can't be and you're dead. So I will say it was nice to finally crack that one with the sub 70 949X Pro hybrid, just right in the perfect place. And then nice, easy approach shot, hits a wall of wind on a giant elevated green. And I'm like, somehow hung up on an apron, short right. It should have came flying back down. It didn't. And I was happy to 3-putt there for a bogey. Like, good luck. So Donald Ross, I mean, and this place Donald Ross was very good at taking flat land and making challenging golf courses. This place is a great example of it. And it's been redone a bunch of times, and it actually, what people don't know, maybe this is something to talk about one show, but Tilly had a program during the Great Depression. He didn't have it. The PGA did, PGA of America. I don't know if you knew this, but during the Great Depression, people didn't have a lot of money, and clubs had to close, and they had to stretch everything they could.
Yeah, I've read Grapes of Wrath.
They didn't.
Fine.
Yeah,
no, that was it was Grape. No, the Grapes of Wrath was the Dust Bowl.
Right.
What was it? Anyways, sorry, keep going.
So the PGA of America sent Tillinghast around a bunch of clubs. I don't remember if they funded it or whatever. I know they funded Tillinghast, but he would go to clubs, and Oak Park was one of them, and say, like, you make these changes to use less water, so you're saving money on water. You'll have to do less. Your bunkers set up this way will take less maintenance, and basically save a ton of money on the golf course by making these changes, and hopefully survive the depression, right? So this course has a lot of people's touches on it, very heavy Ross, but a lot of it is like from Tillinghast suggestions from that era, and then there's been modern renovations or whatever. But like the bones of the Donald Ross tricks are all still there.
Yeah.
Man, they got me good again. So who knows? I mean, I love playing the course. It's I don't think I'm a country club guy. I'm a great example of always a guest, never a member.
Right.
And that's fine because I like the history of it. I don't know if I'm like the type to get wrapped up in all the social events, whatever. Maybe I am. I don't know. But I love going out there. It's a great time. I think they have one of the best patios in Chicagoland golf in terms of like the view of this Donald Ross course. It does, even though there are some significant things that aren't Donald Ross anymore, or even close, but they still have the feel. They did a great job with that.
Okay.
And
like
as
the
always,
Donald Ross principles.
Right. Much like I think it was Essler who redid Mount Prospect Golf Club, right? It's all new, totally redone, but it feels like a 1921 golf course.
Totally. Yeah.
So yeah, had so much fun. I did not go to Johnny's and get a beef because I had to get home, and then I ended up missing what I needed to get home for. So then I was mad I didn't get Johnny's beef, and it's a whole to do. But yeah, Oak Park,
by the way,
man.
I was just thinking about the Grapes of Wrath was the Depression. I was thinking of the Great Gatsby, which is actually after the Depression. So I was right. Just for the record.
Okay. That's the Grapes of Wrath is where all the Roosevelt's plans came in, right? All the I can't think of what they're called anymore.
Yeah.
Like all the New Deal stuff and all that, right?
Right before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Grapes of Wrath is about a family in like Kansas. That trying to figure it out.
That book was depressing.
Oh God, it's so good. It's so funny that you said
very good.
I love that book so much. Yeah.
Oh, it's a good book.
Yeah.
It's a
good book. I'm looking forward to see what Donald Ross has in store for me tomorrow. It's going to be my my fourth Donald Ross, which is pretty fun. I mean, do we count Skokie as a Donald Ross?
I didn't think that was a Ross. I thought it was a Ross, and it wasn't a Ross.
No, it was a Ross, but it's also a Lankford, and it's also who's the other?
Colt? Did Colt get his hands on it?
I think Colt or Bendelow. But that's what's so cool about Skokie is that like all these different architects kind of went through it and made their mark on it. I'm pretty sure that's considered a Donald Ross. Anyways, yeah. So
you have Ravislow,
right?
You have Calumet, which I think is terrible. They call it a Ross, but they call it a Ross.
It's a Ross, yeah. The course in Kansas City I played. What is that called? Yeah, that was a Donald Ross. Is it Heritage? Anyways,
go back and look for the video where we talk about.
Yeah, right. I'm not going back to put a card up here. But yeah, and then so that would be fourth or fifth Donald Ross at this point. And
I got everything lined up. We'll get another one on there with Oak Park this year. And
oh man, I can't wait.
I'm trying to think. There might be a few. There might be a few more we look at. God help us if we ever get down to Pinehurst. We can knock out like 17 of them.
I know. I was just getting. They're giving me a hard time today, the guys here, because I have not played a single golf course really, in that sort of area.
There's plenty of time for it. They're not going anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I played some Hilton Head golf courses, but that was before I really appreciated golf courses. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a lot of like ups and downs thoughts about Pinehurst. I mean, it is great. It is like like they say, right, the St. Andrews of American golf.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's like part obligation to go and play and experience it. And then there's the other part of it, like, if you're into the golf course architecture, I think a lot of golfers will just go and play it because they think that's what they're supposed to do, right?
To me, if you're like an American golfer, like us, you're into, like you kind of pride yourself on being a golf guy.
Yeah,
Never mind Pinehurst as a whole. Like you have to play at Pinehurst too for the history,
right.
Somewhat. And always give you a hard time about Dubs Dread. Like, no, this is for real. Like for real, the history, the Donald Ross history, the U.S. Opens, the Ryder Cups, the
right.
everything, the North and South, everything that gets held at Pinehurst too.
Right.
It's legend. You have to do it.
Right. Right.
All right, man. This is a good show. It's kind of nice, different format for us.
I enjoyed it. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe we could try to do these like once every 4 or 5 weeks, where we just kind of,
Well, you have something interesting. I say you have something interesting to talk about because you're on a trip. We know where God, if our road trip comes up that we're planning on, we're gonna have like 6 of these shows lined up.
Oh my God.
I just thought about that. We have to do some planning on that thing.
You have to do the planning on that.
No,
I don't know anything
like,
about that.
The production and ideas I have for like what we put out on the internet. I have thoughts, but they're gonna be tough. So we'll figure it out. We got time. All right,
man.
Episode 68. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the notification so when we put out those videos, you'll see them. Please give Kris a like for the hard work he's doing out at French Lick Resort. I'm really wanting to go to a steakhouse right now after this whole conversation. And Second City Golf, go buy some merch. Get the brand out there. The more people that know about us, the better. Kris, am I missing anything?
If we get 5 more subscribers next week, let's just say it right now, even though it's at the end of the show. Next week, we will announce the prizes for the 500 subscriber celebration giveaway extravaganza.
And as we keep saying, you got to get to 500 before you get to 1,000, which you want to be here for. Just saying.
Yeah, okay? 1,000 is going to be a whole thing.
Yeah, I'm already tired just thinking about that party. Just saying. All right, everybody. That's Kris McEwen. This is his YouTube channel. He's at French Lick Resort in Indiana playing some great golf. I'm Bill Bush, DriveRangeHeroes.com, at Range Heroes on the social medias. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.